All right. Well, let's jump in. We're going to be talking about reporting groups, and there's just a few of us. So definitely hop into the chat. The webinar chat is on. Let's actually just go to our next slide here, and you can use the chat to interact or the Q&A. Either one works. So Andrea and I are keeping our eyes on both. We do have support for closed captioning turned on. So if you need that, that is here. This is a diverse group of Martus users. So we will talk about that in just a minute. And we will send out the video and PowerPoint from this training and our morning one, hopefully tomorrow, if not Thursday. So a couple things to be aware of. Reporting groups, which is what we're talking about today, are available if you have the word plus in your subscription or the word enterprise. If you're a Martus admin, you can look at your Martus instance and know what level you're at. You can see I circled it here in the red box right under your name, and your organization's name should be what level you're at. We are going to talk about reporting groups in special purpose worksheets today, which all three of these subscription levels can utilize. Towards the end, we'll talk about reporting groups in our report builder tool. And the report builder is only available to the advanced plus and enterprise levels. So that doesn't mean just hop off if you don't fit into one of those. Definitely watch and see if this is a functionality that could help you and your team out. If so, definitely let us know at support, and we'd happy to discuss those with you. So where are we headed? We're going to create reporting groups. We're going to use those reporting groups in special purpose worksheets, and then we are going to use those reporting groups with our report builder. So let's head into Martus, and as I'm switching my screen, we're going to talk about what a reporting group is and when we would use one. So my favorite way to think about this is if I go to my dashboard financials and we go here to our detail analysis. I like to do this because I like to visualize what the database is storing. Andrea, I know you enjoyed that too.
Absolutely.
Because it always takes some of the magic out of it and makes it a little bit more concrete. So this is essentially what the database is storing here. And so we have one line for each distinct set of your dimensions. Now I'm using corporation, department, project, grant. In your system, there are probably different dimensions than what we're seeing here. And so we're going to see 100 general, 100 counseling, 999 as our project and our account. So we can have up to one line for a distinct combination of our dimensions and our account. So what Martus is storing here is it's storing a monthly budget for those. We're not seeing that in this report, but we have a monthly budget per row. We also have our actuals coming in for that. We might even have multiple budgets, but each one is a data set and it's stored basically the same. It's stored with a unique line. So when I talk about lines today, what I'm talking about is each distinct combination of our dimensions and our account. And so when we're talking about reporting groups, what we're talking about is the ability to see things or see lines grouped together. Now, of course, we can always filter any report, to an existing department and see those, or to a specific account or any of our other dimensions. So we have other filtering ways. But sometimes we may just want to see a subset of these or two departments together that aren't necessarily related. Another thing we can do is you'll see here, if I go back to let's go out to our administration, our facilities, excuse me. We're going to go over here to our facilities. And you can see here's essentially our facilities lines. And this office supplies, what I want to do is I want to take this annual budget of $22,620. We're gonna actually charge our other departments for those office supplies by a percentage. So a reporting group is going to allow me to target this line here, this $22,000, and pull it into a special purpose worksheet where I can then redistribute it out to other worksheets. So that's where we're going to start today. So to begin with this, what I want to do is I want to just go into that worksheet and see what that $22,000 looks like. As I like to kind of start with our real data here so we know what we're looking at. Let's come into our general facilities worksheet and notice here that we have our office supplies here. So we have about 15,000 we want to allocate out to our worksheets here. So what we're going to do is we're going to first go to setup and reporting groups. And one of the questions we asked earlier this morning that I'd be curious to know for you guys, I know the answer for one of you, because I've worked closely with one of you, but I don't necessarily know the answer for the other two. But if everybody wants to share in the chat, how many reporting groups are you using reporting groups in your current budget, or is this a new concept to you? Just kind of let us know how many reporting groups you're using, or if this is new. I'd love to hear that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into our reporting groups here. I'm going to add a reporting group, and we're going to call this office supplies. And I'm going to hit save here. And so now we have the ability to choose either some filters here, or if we want Martus to automatically apply filters, we can select specific worksheet lines. So this works really well for what we're doing here, where we're getting 100. Where's our, I should have probably filtered for facilities, but we'll just scroll through them all like the crazy people we are. All right, so here's our facilities line. This is the line from that planner worksheet that we want to budget out to other departments. So I'm going to select that and go back to the bottom here and click on add selected worksheet lines to reporting groups. Now you'll notice that Martus is applying here all of the filters for all of those different things, which is fine for this case because we really are targeting that one line in our budget. But if for some reason we wanted to target like all of the facilities and youth center lines for some reason, we may want to add those lines individually, and we'll talk about more in a minute and why. But for this purpose, we're just going to grab this account. So we can always use the show matches button here. That's going to show us what is included in this office supplies report and our office supplies reporting group. And we'll be able to come over then to, now we're going to come into our special purpose worksheets, because what we're going to do is we're going to use that reporting group to know how much we've budgeted for that line, and we're going to push that out to other worksheets. So Andrea, what kind of special purpose worksheet do I need for this?
You're going to need a global special purpose worksheet.
Yep, exactly. So, and we need a global special purpose worksheet because we want to involve more than one worksheet. So whenever we're doing a worksheet specific special purpose worksheet, obviously that's one worksheet specific. It's in the name even. Look at that. So we're going to come in here and we're going to add a new global, and we're going to call this office supplies, and click on create new. And then I'm going to click on edit. That's the next step. It doesn't just open. You do need to click on edit there. All right. So now I have my very blank global special purpose worksheet. And I'm going to add a line here, and we'll add a line for our, actually, Andrea, I don't want to use any of these. Do I have to use those?
No, you do not. In fact, you can just do what it says right there and start typing to add a new section.
Yeah, so we're going to call this total office supplies from facilities, just so we can be really clear on what it is. And we'll call this office supplies. And we don't want to post this out to our budget worksheet because we're essentially pulling in information from our budget. So our special purpose worksheets allow us to not only push out to our worksheets, I think that's the way we're used to thinking about them. You know, you do calculations or something in your special purpose worksheet and you push that out into your budget worksheet. But special purpose worksheets can also pull information from those same budget worksheets. So that's what we're doing here. And that's what the reporting group is for. It's for our pulling in the information. So I'm going to choose my source as reporting group. And here in reporting group, I am going to come in and find my office supplies line and hit preview. And notice that's the same amount we saw on the planner worksheet, the 15,243. And so I'm going to click on save. And now what I can do is I can continue to add sections and push percentages of that amount out to different departments. So let's do that. Let's click on add line here, and we'll call this, we're going to make our own section again, because that's way more fun.
Woo-hoo.
And we'll call this our youth center. And this is going to be the youth center percentage. Actually, I'm going to put percentage at the beginning because it'll be easier to read. And we're going to come over here, and I'm going to tell Martus that we're going to do 30% to our youth center. So we'll notice we're not posting anything out to our budget yet. We're just kind of collecting some data here. And so right now, if I clicked on post, absolutely nothing happens in my budget because I haven't posted any of these lines out. But we're going to click on add line here, and we're going to actually post this one out. So we're going to put this in youth center as well. And I'm going to put this as to post youth center. And I'm going to click on budget worksheets, and we're going to just do our general youth center. That's where all these costs are going to go. And I'm going to hit the office supplies line, and we'll do 99. And then over here in my values, I'm going to choose a formula, and we are going to multiply our total office supplies by that percentage. Now you could do a whole number and then divide it by 100, but I like to do simple math here. And so that's why I chose that 0.3 here. So we're multiplying the 1,155 times 0.3, and we should get a number that is approximately, roughly close to a third of that, which we do. So I'm going to hit save. And now we have our youth center lines. Now we can organize this differently, because really what our section headers are for, these here that we've created, they're just for our internal, humanity to be able to read this. Martus doesn't really care what's in what section. So I do have people that instead of doing, youth center as a section header, they'll do all their percentages, and then they'll do all their calculations. I personally like kind of seeing it this way because it makes it a little bit easier on my brain to manage that. But I'm going to come in and click on add line, and let's add our counseling center. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to add our percentage to counseling center. And Andrea, I know we ran into this morning. Why are we adding such a long description that's unique, that's involving the name of where we're going?
Because a description, no matter what section it's in, has to be unique.
Yeah. So while I would love to just be able to come in here and say percentage because it's in a different section, I can't. And part of that's because you could move a line from one section to another, and you could really get yourself confused. Another reason is because we can use these in formulas, so they need to be unique so that the system knows kind of what you're actually trying to do math on. So I have found that kind of thinking through how I want to name things before I start has helped. But of course, I often will not think through them, because if you know me, I like to just push the buttons and kind of start figuring out some things. And then I go back later and I make it pretty. So a lot of times I will just start because it will help me get my thoughts together. And I'd forgotten my word too. And so we'll post this one out to our counseling center.
So Melissa, what you're really doing here is you're taking office supplies, that one line out of that one worksheet, and you created a reporting group on it. So you're using it as a source or a reference point for your calculations.
Yep, exactly. So I have seen a lot of people have very similar special purpose worksheets to this, but instead of this being a reporting group, they are just entering the amount here. So sometimes that's totally valid too. Like I'm working with somebody right now who they don't necessarily budget. They don't have a home location to budget this, if that makes sense. So they kind of just put in the total of what the office supplies would be into their special purpose worksheet, and then use these same kind of sections to divide it out. But for a lot of our customers and a lot of you out there, I know that these are kind of often budgeted by a single person in a central location. So then it becomes really easy for Martus to then come in, and they don't even necessarily have to deal with a lot of this special purpose worksheet from year to year. If the percentages are all going to stay the same, and we copy, next year we come in and we're going to update our budget line, we can pretend like we're doing that. So I'm going to leave this. We don't have to hit save or anything, but what we can do is we can come in to our worksheets, and we can go into our facilities here. And we can go to our office supplies, and we can change this. So let's add some additional amounts. Maybe we'll add a few different things. Maybe we're going to replace our copier this year and just update.
Oh no, not that. That was the dreaded thing. No, not the copiers.
See, I worked in the copy office for a while, and when we got our new machine, oh my goodness, that thing was like amazing. Like I was like, we can never go back. It was like 5 sections of copier machine, and it came with some amazing software to make stuff double-sided, and scaled
Yeah, I was amazed that
multiples on the
we had to
page.
have, sorry, I was amazed that we had to have like copier demos. And then when we figured out which one we wanted, we had to have staff training on a
Oh yeah.
copier.
Well, we didn't even do that. Our department decided nobody but our department is going to touch this copier. So we were trained and nobody else could touch it.
Like, it's ours.
It's ours. Don't break it. Okay, so we're going to add these amounts and now we're up to 20,000. So I'm going to hit save here. And one of the things about Martus is everything is a push and pull. So we don't really, if you are, one rule of thumb in Martus is that if you are updating something in Martus, like a worksheet or a special purpose worksheet or your personnel budget, nothing is going to change. Well, if you're updating your worksheet, your budget will change accordingly. But nothing is going to update your worksheets unless you're on worksheets without you pushing an extra button. And what I mean by that is this special purpose worksheet has still not spoken to the appropriate worksheets. So if I go into my youth center here and I look at here, we have office supplies, but notice that we don't have the special purpose worksheet icon. It is still a regular budget widget icon, because we haven't pushed that in. So this worksheet is still ignorant of the fact that that worksheet exists, the special purpose worksheet.
I was going to say unaware.
Unaware, not ignorant. I know ignorant sounded so like terrible, but unaware is way better. But before we want to push this out, notice that our total still says $15,243. Because outside of reporting, nothing changes if you make a change. You have to tell Martus to pull and push. So we're going to first pull in our reporting group updates. How would we do that, Andrea? This is a frequently asked question that people get kind of lost in.
So I think what you can do is use the orange button at the bottom on the right to update the reporting group values in this special purpose worksheet.
Yes, that's exactly what you do. And so I'm going to click on that and it's going to say, are you sure? And I'm going to say yes. And you'll notice that now we're at 20 is what we had in our planner worksheet, right? Which now means that all of these other values have updated. So we're now at 6,000 and 4,000. And can I tell you that as we've done this twice, these poor people's office supplies have just gone up exponentially, but that's okay. It's all fake data. I think
They got a new copier.
It started at like $3,000 total, and now we're at like 20. So I just am buying all the paper. So you can see here, this is what's actually going to post, and we can see that in our summary. A couple other fun facts about this page, just in general. If you are wanting to filter on one of these options here, like your accounts or your project, you can just click on it and it's going to show you just the lines involved in that. I mainly show that because sometimes we can apply a filter that we didn't mean. Like sometimes you're like, oh, this is the reporting group for office supplies. And I click on it and now I have a random filter and I've lost my whole thing. And now I can't even get back. That was weird. Do I have to go to select? Okay, that's fun.
Yep.
So yeah, so just be aware of that. But let's go ahead and post this out to our worksheets. And it will say, are you sure? And I will say, yes, okay. And we'll go back out to our worksheets. And now if we go to 100 Youth Center, we're going to see that that line is controlled by our office supplies. And this is our global special purpose worksheet. So definitely seeing that here allows me to, as a budget owner, I am now incorporating the $6,000 into my budget, but I don't have control over it. Most end users don't have, while you can grant, this is something to know as we're talking about globals, while you can grant somebody access to see global special purpose worksheets that's not an admin. Andrea, this is kind of a trick question. Do you know what else has to be true about the global special purpose worksheet for them to be able to see it?
Yes, they have to be able to see all the lines in the worksheet.
Yep, exactly. So for example, if I have access to global special purpose worksheets, but I can only see Youth Center, I will not be able to see this global special purpose worksheet at all. It will be like it doesn't exist for me because I can't see that level of the organization. So,
and it won't show you just part of it. It's all or nothing.
Yep, it's all or nothing. And fun fact, if your reporting group includes a value that somebody can't see, they will also not be able to see that special purpose worksheet. So that's something to kind of troubleshoot too. But of course, if you think somebody should see something and they're not, and you can't figure it out, spend 5 to 15 minutes and then please email support. Don't don't spend a lot of time trying to figure it out because it can get really nuanced really fast, especially when we're talking about special purpose worksheets and reporting groups and all of that. So I know Andrew and I have both sat on calls with our QA team trying to figure out what the missing link is. That it's somewhere. We know there's
Why
a
is
filter
this
somewhere,
happening?
but
Yep.
where is it?
We
All
always
right.
figure it out eventually.
We do. We do. Okay, so let's talk about reporting groups in our report builder. So I'm going to come up to my dashboard financials and we are going to come in here and we are going to choose, we're going to look at our departments. So the way my organization is set up, I have this management and general parent category, which of course I could filter to and see what's there. But what I want to do is make sure that as we go forward, I want to be able to see this 299. Let's also do this Excel dimension so we can see what's under 299. I want to be able to see everything but shared. And there's not really a way to do that without a reporting group. You can create a secondary profile, but a lot of times in like a report builder, switching back and forth between multiple profiles is not really what we want to do. And the reporting group is going to give us a lot more options in our report builder than just having that filter on our user. So if you want to know more about additional profiles, just let me know and we will show it to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to setup and reporting groups. And this is where, Andrew, remember earlier when I was mentioning you want to be careful how you choose your lines?
Yes.
This is why it matters. So let me show you. We'll add a new reporting group and I'm going to call this operations and click save. So what I can do is I can come in and filter my 299, or rather I could come in and filter like all to accounting and select all of those and add them and continue on. The problem with that is that if I grab all of my department 200 lines like this will work right now. But if somebody goes into that worksheet and adds another account to 100, 200, this reporting group is not going to pick that up because these are all explicitly assigned with all 4 dimensions associated. So instead, oh, this is, I should probably just delete this whole thing and start again, but we're going to go through. And in fact, you can hit enter on your keyboard and get that little, I do because I do things like this all the time to myself. Okay, so instead what we want to do is we want to just grab every, not counseling services though, that's not the example we're working on, every line that exists in our budget anywhere in department 200 and department 210 and department 220 and department 230 facilities. Okay.
Great. So this would be effective then in getting everything in those departments. Even if another corporation or project is added, it's always going to find those departments and everything in them.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
So this is where, sometimes depending on what you're trying to get and grab and group, you want to think through how am I picking my lines and how am I grabbing those. So what I'm going to do here, just to make sure that we're kind of getting what we expect, I always like to use one of my budgets I'm familiar with and click on show matches. It's going to show me all the lines that we're collecting. I think of it as like grabbing like little Easter eggs or everything that matches, some sort of weird matching game. But these are all the ones that match, and it kind of makes my heart happy to see that it makes sense. And sometimes doing this, you realize, oh, I didn't really want, something random in there or along those lines. So, all right. So now that we have that, let's go over to our dashboard and report builder. And we're going to go into this enhanced forecast that I was playing with earlier today, because we have a lot of places we can apply a reporting group in report builder. So you can't apply reporting groups in our standard dashboard financials, but in Report Builder, you most definitely can. So we're going to go into settings here. The first place I can apply this is at the reporting at the level up here. So we can...
Operations, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Yep. You're welcome.
I'm not even jet lagged and I couldn't find it. All right, so these are the only accounts that are a part of our operations departments. So you can see we don't have income, which makes sense for those departments, and we just have some expenses. Now, this may be too constricting. I do have customers that I know have, specific groupings of their classes and departments and projects they kind of want to see all lumped together, and they don't really have any combinations outside of that. So they have some reporting groups and they might have a report that shows that. But in most cases, a lot of times we are going to use this. So we're going to take our reporting group off our report altogether. And now we have everything here. And what I'm going to do is, let's say our board is really concerned about those operating costs and they kind of want to see them at the front of our report and kind of front and center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this whole section. So now I have two versions of my report inside my report. So you can see the edit section line here. One of the first things we're going to do is we're just going to simplify this section here. So I'm going to remove a couple of these columns. So notice that when I do this, we aren't changing the section below. That section is all still the same. But in this section, we can actually come in and we can go to our section editor and we're going to apply that reporting group. I'm going to hit save. And so now we can see our total actuals, our remaining budget, and the total there for just our operating costs. And then I can also come in and I can title this section. So you can see that we can really get into some very specific options in here that really allow us to drill in to the values that we're looking for. Now I have other customers, so I'm going to remove this whole section, even though we just built it and it was beautiful. They may want to add a row above, and let's say we want to just we want all the same columns, so we're going to keep it in the same section, but we're going to show a gain loss layout, which for this case wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense because we're just dealing with expenses anyway, but we can do this by department here in our gain loss layout. And notice that on our row editor, we can also apply that same reporting group. So let me go in. I don't know why I cannot think of the word operations on this, but that is a struggle.
It's too close to office supplies.
That's what it is. I think that's, so here's our departments that we have. Those are the 4 that we saw before. And maybe we even want to come in and for this section here, give it a little bit more detail with our accounts underneath. So you can see that. And so you can see that we're getting really into some very specific details. And of course, whenever I've got a reporting group on a row like this, I probably want to give that row an explicit title to match. Do be careful with your titles though, because it is really easy to change your reporting group here and not change your title. And then, you've got some wonkiness going on. So
that's beautiful, Melissa. It makes my heart happy.
I know, it's nice, huh?
It really is.
I've had people do a lot of different stuff with this, depending on kind of what they're looking for. Filtering and using reporting groups on our rows is a very, very cool thing. You can also add reporting groups to our charts. Did you know that, Andrea?
Did, but show us, please.
Okay. I figured you would. Hopefully you do. Also because you watched the morning webinar. So
it's true. But if you want me to, I can go, what?
No, it's good. So here's our chart section. Fun fact, you can add a chart section without a tabular section to our report builder, because the chart section just cares about what data you have. So I'm going to add a chart. It doesn't matter when you don't have a chart whether you choose before or after, because it's adding it before or after nothing, and it doesn't really matter. But here is our budget by account, and we're going to choose our pie, and we'll do our next year planner budget. And we've got our groupings by account. And then over here in our filters, we're going to come in and we're going to choose our operations reporting group. And I'm going to hit save. And there is our reporting group with just those accounts that are a part of it.
It's so pretty.
I know, right? We could also do something like this. So that was our, we could add, not a section, add chart after. So we can actually go see what if we go to our next year planner, because that's what we're looking at here. And we could do our office supplies, and we'll do our grouping by department, and we can do our office supplies here. So we can also see how reporting groups apparently that's not the right budget. I don't know which budget it is, but that's okay.
Well, office supplies, remember, is just one line.
Yeah, but it should be in different departments. Oh, you know what? It's all... What was that? Sorry.
We only selected one line in that reporting group, though. Remember?
it should go into, because we had it in different departments though.
We
You're right, in the
were
reporting group. We wouldn't want to do that.
right,
Right.
right. We were
Thank you.
allocating to multiple departments, but from
Let's take
one.
that off. So we might need a different reporting group there to see that across everything. But yeah, so yes, we would need a different reporting group of all of the office supplies across all departments to see that.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yes. Because right now it's all in the facilities one.
I know. I was
Ah.
thinking, please don't tell me my dots aren't connecting because I really thought I was connecting dots.
I was just giving you a little test. A late
All right.
evening test.
Did I pass?
Yes, you most definitely did. All right. Does anybody have any questions that we can answer? Otherwise, while you're thinking of your questions, let's talk about our upcoming webinar, which is next week. It's another Watch Me Work. We have one more in this June session of Watch Me Works, and this one is focused on your end users. So we are going to go through the basics of budgeting and a budget worksheet. We'll show them how to add a very simple line to a special purpose worksheet, and then we'll talk about reporting. So we keep it at a very, very basic level. I try to go very slowly. Andrea actually gets to lead our afternoon session. So
there ain't no afternoon about it.
The evening session.
It's evening. 7 o'clock.
Yes. So yeah, because I will actually be leading a session at a conference right about that time. So
everybody's welcome to bring their favorite cocktail, except me.
Yes. Don't drink and present.
No. Never.
So definitely check that out. We will send this out as well as our morning session. They will both be on the same page, cohabitating. So the link you get into your email will send you to both, and we will send that out. So feel free to stick around. Andrea and I will stick around and chat for just a minute. If you have any questions, we'll definitely be willing to answer those. And feel free, if you want to talk too, let us know that. I'll let you come off mute.
Great job, Melissa.
No problem. You're welcome. Thanks, everybody. Sorry, trying to answer both of you at the same time. But thanks for joining us, and we'll hopefully see you next week.